around? What's up, Hooligan? What's up, Martin? Bomber's looking around for you guys. Just me and the dog. Oh, big boy. Yeah. Turn around so they can see you. There he goes. There he's looking for you guys. What's up, John Rodriguez? Thank you for that super chat, brother. Yeah, we're jumping on a Tuesday because I got work life tomorrow. Got to do a little out-of-town conference deal. Mr. Los Angeles, what's up, buddy? Haven't heard from you in a while.
What's up, guys? It's Rich Incognito, Las Vegas Raiders. I'm here at Raiders Fan Radio. Let's go, Raiders. Woo!
Hey, it's Mike Garafolo, NFL Network here in the home office, and you are listening to the Raiders Fan Radio podcast, taking that lighter journey into the dark side with Murf, Swag Jeff, and Michelle. She's got great hair. It's a little pink, it's a little purple, whatever it is. I'll tell you what, if I could grow it, I would sign up for that color today. So listen to her and the entire crew as they give you all the information on the Raiders on the podcast that benefits the One Nation Foundation. It's a great cause. It's a great pod. Tune in, turn it up. Here it comes. All that Raiders info and takes coming at you right now.
Jackpot, baby. Raiders Fan Radio.
Oakland, LA, Oakland, Vegas, Raider Nation, wherever, forever. You got your old Uncle Mosh and Raiders Fan Radio from Murf's Man Cave, taking a lighter journey into the dark side. Sit back, put your feet up, pop a top, and enjoy the ride. Here we go!
Back, look left, look right, Paletnikov, a leaping pass, touchdown!
We miss you, we love you, and we'll see you in the Hall of Fame.
When you have great coaches, then after you have great coaches, you get great players. You have a great organization, and you tell them one thing: just win, baby.
Way up the middle, intercepted Filipiano at the 50, time running down. Oakland football, and I think Oakland victory. The Oakland Raiders have scored on the most zany, unbelievable, absolutely impossible dream of a play.
Well, I love this team. I think this team can win. I think this team can win.
You are listening live to Raiders Fan Radio. Take it away, guys.
Why, thank you, Brett Musburger. What is up, Raider Nation? Your buddy Murf back once again for what I trust will be a fantastic episode of Raiders Fan Radio. Thank you for jumping into the chat room. Everybody that's already in there: Robert Pena, Mr. Los Angeles, Martin is in there, John Raider is in there, Tider Raider, of course, is in there, Ron is in there, Backwoods Raider is in there. Appreciate all of you so very, very much. Yeah. So a couple things real quick. Number one, this is going to be a podcast selfie because I got a work thing to do tomorrow night. And the day job, it calls, and so I'll be out of town for a conference, so no proper RFR tomorrow. And so it's just me in the fan cave, me and the dog, me and Bomber. I named him after the great Daryl LaMonica, the Mad Bomber. You can see him there laying in there. So for those of you that asked, he's an English Mastiff, and he's about 200 pounds. It's like having a dude in the house, man. He's just an absolute beast, but he's a big, sweet boy, and we love him very, very much. And if you've never had a Mastiff, they're a mess. Like they shake their heads a lot, and their slobber goes everywhere, and they're a lot, and they're a lot to control and everything. But man, once you get them, trained and stuff, he's the best dog I've ever had. He's an absolute sweetheart. He has no idea he's 200 pounds. He's just a big, lovable dog, and as a first dog I named after a Raider. Like, I always named my dogs after Star Wars characters, so he's the first one I named after a Raider. So, in honor of the Mad Bomber, Daryl LaMonica. So that's Bomber. We appreciate you so very, very much for joining in. And then the other thing I got for you, the internet here in the middle of nowhere where we live now has been wonky all day. The Starlink has. So if the show cuts out, I apologize, and we'll just have to do a pre-record situation or something and get that uploaded. But anyway, so I'm going to shut up and get on with it because just in case it does croak out on us, then we can get more show in, and because there's a lot to talk about. I mainly want to get on and do your emails and voicemails because you all honor us by sending us your emails and voicemails every week. And so I want to make sure that I got those read and played on the show, and then also talk about this trade deadline, which was kind of uneventful for the Raiders. But before we do that, this is episode number 391, and we are presented to you by the good folks at FanDuel. That's right, FanDuel, the number one betting partner around here at not only Raiders Fan Radio, but the Believe Network. And I did pretty good on FanDuel this past week. I put a bunch last night on the Cowboys and who was it last night on Monday Night Football? It was the Cowboys, and who they lose to? Oh, it was the Cardinals. And so I bet the under. The over-under on that game was 53.5. I bet the under, and it cleaned up. It was a really good bet. So, and then the other thing I'll give to you too, if you're not betting the under every week on the Raiders, then you're missing an opportunity. And let's look it up right now. Let's look it up live and see what the line is going to be against the Cowboys, against the Donkeys. It's officially Donkey Week. And let's see what we got for the Donks on Thursday. Going to be a tough game for our Raiders, man. Going up against that high-powered Donkey offense. All right, so here we go. Raiders are 9.5-point underdogs, and the over/under is 42. So I'm thinking, yeah, bet that under. And I never like to bet against the Raiders. 9.5 points is a lot, but getting that on the road and considering that we got blown out, on the road against the Colts, and we got blown out on the road against the Chiefs, that 9.5, that may not be enough to get it done. So, but anyways, had fun with it. Gamble responsibly, of course. And thank you again to the good folks at FanDuel for supporting little old Raiders Fan Radio over here. So as I mentioned, this is episode. There's a Derek for you guys, and so appreciate. There's a Derek for you guys, and so appreciate, of course, him and his time with the Silver and Black. And I've kind of enjoyed this Carr Brothers show, this podcast that they're doing. It's kind of fun. I like it when he's reminiscing and talking about his Raider days. That's always pretty cool, so I can appreciate that. But yes, I keep looking down here because I keep thinking that like the internet's going away. But anyways, we'll get into it. Let's go ahead and play some contact info, and then let's talk a little bit about what happened at this trade deadline. Where's the contact info? There it is. Oops. Well, the thing's not connected. Let me see if I've got it on here. Oh my gosh, what a mess. Here we go.
Woo! Hey, Raider Nation, you got your old Uncle Mosh here with an updated contact info. So sit up, zip up, shut up, and pay attention. You can call us at 909-345-3346, or as Murf would say it, 909-345-3346. How about emailing me? You want to email me? Email me at show@RaidersFanRadio.com. Or what about reaching out to us on some of that social media stuff Swaggy likes? Try Facebook at Raiders Fan Radio Podcast, the Twit at Twitter at Raiders Fan Radio, Insta something, Instagram at Raiders Fan Radio, the tiki-tiki-taki-talk, TikTok at Raiders Fan Radio. Or what about the Twitch? Some of you out there twitching. Anyway, Twitch at Raiders Fan Radio. Or if you don't like that, go to the YouTube. America, go to the YouTube. YouTube.com/Raiders Fan Radio. Oh my God, if that wasn't enough, go to your podcast provider and search Raiders Fan Radio. Holy crap, that was a lot.
Good. All right. Appreciate all of you jumping in for this episode 391 of Raiders Fan Radio. All right. So let's talk a little bit about this past week, and more probably importantly, this upcoming week. So Raiders go down again at Jacksonville by a point. Right call or not at Jacksonville, but against Jacksonville. Raiders go for the 2-point conversion because earlier Daniel Carlson misses the extra point kick, and so we're forced to go for the 2-point conversion, which is the right call. You don't want to tie it, at home and go into overtime and then risk losing in the game. So I get it. I get why they did it. I don't love the play call, though. Once again, Pete Carroll strikes again, throwing the ball, with the game on the line when you're, inside the 5-yard line. So that was a little rough to see that, especially when we saw the success that they had on the perimeter, getting Ashton Genty out there, even Brock Bowers on that one jet sweep. There was a lot of creativity going on at times in the game, in the running game, and then so to just completely go away from that on a 2-point conversion, I thought was a mistake. At a minimum, I think you get Geno on the move if you're going to at least give him the opportunity to run it in. Should something break down or coverage be what it is. But anyways, so that was a heartbreaker. I did the Silver and Black Today show with Scott after the fact, and it felt very apathetic. It felt very indifferent, which I know a lot of fans are kind of going through that same thing now. We've reached that point in the Raiders season where it's like, of course, I'm always sad when they lose, and I always want them to win. But I'm just so disenchanted with this freaking coaching staff. I'm so disenchanted with the freaking front office. I don't understand. There's nothing about the current state of the Raiders that makes sense to me. In the beginning of the year, you had John Spytek. When I say beginning of the year, I mean early in the offseason process. Yeah, John Spytek out there saying that this is going to be a process, and we need to get the right guys in the building and build with youth and all this kind of stuff. And then you got Pete coming out and he goes, "No, we're going to win now. We never won less than 10 games, and I don't expect that to be any different." And so we already had a kind of a clashing of messages at that point, and I don't know why, but it didn't pique my radar back then. But it is now. I mean, now it's you look back on the conflict between the messaging between the messages, and it doesn't make sense. So you got conflicts, confusion in us fans based on what the front office is doing. Then you look at the way that the coaching is. They come out with saying one thing and then do another. They say they need to run the ball more, and then Ashton Genty gets the ball 13 times. It's that dude needs to be getting 20 carries a game. At least. He's a workhorse type running back. He's the kind of guy that gets stronger as the game goes on. I'm not comparing him to Derrick Henry because they're different players, but that's what he does well. It's the longer that they keep pounding the rock, the more and more he wears down the defense. And by the time you get into the waning, minutes of the fourth quarter, you're able to convert those things. And we even saw Jacksonville doing that to us in this last game. And I think they even said that in the broadcast. And so, but then Chip Kelly comes out and it's Genty has a good run. And then it's pass, and then punt. It's just man, what the hell are we doing? And it's so especially should be starting second for sure. Third should be working their way into starting roles relatively soon. And then fourth, you would hope that you would develop a little bit. Maybe by the end of the year, you've got players starting to make an impact. You certainly would expect them to be active and on game day, suited up and rotating in. The idea that they're just nothing. There's nothing from our draft besides Ashton Genty, and even he's getting limited use. And so I feel when things go wrong, they start changing their message, and that's what's leading to a lot of my distrust around this Raiders staff and organization as a whole, is that this was my number one complaint with Josh McDaniels, was moving the goalposts. Don't tell us one thing, and then when things start to go to shit, you start changing what your message is. The message early on was we're going to win now. We're going to, quote, compete. Sick of that damn word. Adults in the room. Geno Smith is highly responsible as a quarterback. He's not going to turn the ball over. He's going to get the ball downfield. All these things they told us, none of those things are coming true. So now the messaging is starting to change. We need more time in the offense. We need more of this. We need more of that. But that's not what you said. And that's not what we expected as a fan base. And so the longer that this is going on, the more your messages are changing. So now guess what? Now we can't trust you because basically you're just lying. That was, again, my number one complaint with McDaniels. He was just full of shit. Well, now I get the feeling that Pete is full of shit. And so today he comes out and says, we're not interested in making moves for the future. Now, I understand that was within the context of the conversation with Max Crosby potentially being traded. I'm not necessarily on board with trading Max Crosby either. I asked the question a few weeks ago because I thought it was a fair question to ask. And sure enough, it was, because it was one of the hot stories going around Raiderland. And it wasn't until Max came out and said, I don't want to go anywhere, and the team said, we're not moving on from him. Until then, did it get quiet, because a lot of teams were making calls on him, including Jerry Jones and the Cowboys were very active today. And it wouldn't have shocked me a bit if Jerry Jones wouldn't have put in a bid for Max Crosby, bring his ass back to Texas, where he's from. And he's from Michigan originally, but he played high school football around the corner from freaking Dallas-Fort Worth. So don't tell me that that wasn't going to be in play and there wasn't smoke to that. But it wasn't until that point in which that all completely went away. Well, when it completely went away, I thought, okay, well, it's not a topic anymore, and I don't necessarily agree with it. But if there was a bevy of picks, if they just made some dummy offer some team did for a bunch of firsts or something like that, well, then the Raiders would have to give it at least a little bit of attention. But the point being, though, is that but that's not the guy you want to move on from. But my point being, though, is that him to make those comments, to say I'm not interested in making moves for the future, that flies all over me, because you're 2-6, Pete, and your quarterback sucks. I don't care how cool he is. I don't care how close you guys are. I don't care whatever, how tight your relationship is. None of that means shit. This ain't show friends. It's show business. The great Bob Sugar taught us that. You hear me, Raiders? It ain't show friends. It's show business. Make some goddamn business decisions that make sense, because right now you're not. And Pete, when you make decisions like just keeping with what you've got right now and not interested in building towards the future, that's bullshit. That's 100% what we have to do. And if his geriatric ass can't see that vision that they need to build for the future, well, then just go ahead and do us a favor and freaking hike up those depends and walk your ass to the retirement home. That's just freaking, then you're not the guy, because that's not what we need right now. We don't need that type of mentality right now. And that's not just my opinion. You're 2-6. That's the reality of the situation. Like, it doesn't matter what some dopey podcast in his basement hanging out with his dog with the best chat room in the world thinks about it. That's not what matters. What matters is that you can't put more numbers in the left column than you do in the right. And that's been a problem for the Raiders for the better part of 40 goddamn years. So sorry, Pete, if we have a freaking desire for you to build towards a future. Al Davis said it the best. It's next time you go to Allegiant Stadium, Pete, take a look around the place. You'll find a spot there where it says, the fire that burns brightest in the Raiders organization is the will to win. And the greatness of the Raiders is in its what? Future. That's Al Davis. That's what we are raised on. The greatness of the Raiders is in its future, not this 2-6 bullshit that you guys are now. So save that stupid rhetoric about not wanting to build towards the future and take it somewhere else. I'm so over Pete. People gave me a lot of shit about Josh McDaniels and Antonio Pierce when I was like, man, AP's not going to be the guy. We got to move on from him. And they were like, oh, well, you sure did give Josh McDaniels a lot of time. Sure did give Josh McDaniels. And he's like, didn't you give that much time to AP? I'm like, man, I was no bigger supporter than AP coming out of that interim year. There was no bigger supporter than me and my two co-hosts here. We loved that man until we started seeing him coach on game day and the butthole puckered up. And all of a sudden he didn't make those aggressive decisions that he was making when he was the interim coach, because he was coaching not to lose his job instead of coaching to get a job. And that's what ultimately cost him. And when we got to that point and you could see that, then that's when I started speaking up. None of those guys lost me as fast as Pete Carroll. I never thought in a million years, 4 games in, I'm already out on this dude, man. And it's just compounding every week when we see these results. And then we hear these damn comments and we move those damn goalposts. So anyways, man, Raiders got a lot to deal with, man. And I hate to get on these microphones and just bitch. I'm inherently a highly positive guy, believe it or not. And so are my co-hosts. But man, the state of the Raiders right now is really freaking ugly, and something drastic has got to change. And the thing that they can do to get this thing going in the right direction is truly commit to a youth movement. You've got to. Why would you not? If I'm John Spytek and I got to watch these old ass veterans go out there and play ball, how can I properly evaluate the young talent that I already have in the building and then decide what I'm going to do in the offseason in the draft and free agency? You play Tyler Lockett and you play Alex Kappa and you play Jordan Meredith and you play all these old guys. Well, then we don't know. John Spytek, there's no way his front office, his freaking scouting and everybody else, there's no way they can do a fair job in evaluating what maybe they already have to be able to inform what they're going to do in the offseason when you keep playing the old guys. So it's time to invest in the youth movement. Do it. What else you got to lose? You're not going to salvage the season. Sorry, Pete. This thing ain't turning around. Like, you're not going to win 8 of the next. You would need to win 8 more games to freaking make a playoff spot. To win your 10 games that you claimed you were going to win, if you are going to win 10 games, you got to win 8 more games. How many do we got left? We're 2-6, so I can do the math. That's 9. You going to go 8-1 to close the year? Really? You're going to go 8-1 to close this thing out? No, not even close. So this season is done. So being that it's done, then commit to something. Or I just said you won't commit to the future, but if I'm Spytek, I'm making a power move. If I'm Tom Brady, I'm making a power move. If I'm Mark Davis, he's already got the hammer. All he's got to do is swing it. Let this guy know that it's time for the youth movement, Pete, because you're not going to win 8 games to close out the season and make the playoffs. This thing is done. So let's find out what we got in the kids. So anyways, that would be something positive. You know, that'd be a nice takeaway to end here on a high note. It sure would be nice to see what Tonka Hemingway, has. It sure would be nice to see what these guys, these 2 young defensive, J.J. Pagace, he's not only a good defensive tackle in college, but he was also a ball carrier. How fun would it have been on that 2-point conversion to bring his big ass out there and do a freaking direct snap to him like freaking Ole Miss did, or get him in there to lead block for Ashton Genty, right? Something like that. Like, because he's good at it. We've seen he was 25 of 26 carrying the ball on 3rd down at Ole Miss on 4th down or 3rd down conversions, and I think he was like 3 for 3 on 4th down conversions or something like that. But it's like an obscene number how well he does carrying the ball in short yardage. Why haven't we not even seen that once yet? Not once. You're a 2-6 football team. What do you got to lose? So I'd love to see something like that. Could get me energized, seeing some of these younger guys. Seeing, and we've already seen Dante Thornton a little bit, but Porter would like to see a lot more of him. Sure would like to see Charles Grant and Caleb Rogers. And, sure would be nice to see those young guys get out there, get some reps. Sure would be nice to see Besh get mixed in now that that Cobes is gone. That sure would be nice to see Jack Besh get some targets. Let's see what that young man's got. Let's inform the front office. Let's inform the fans of what we've got in all these young players. And hopefully they'll give us something to root for anyways. All right, that's all I got. That's all my rant. Let me see what we got going on in the chat room. Paul Edgerton is in there. Martin is in there. Aaron Thompson is in there. Let's see. Raider Man is in there. Backwoods Raider is in there. Appreciate you. Ron the Mater Raider, of course, is in there. Let's see. Who else? Hooligan. What's up, Hooligan? Hooligan is in there. So many of our good friends. Tiny Hat Sewer Rat. That's a fun name. Mr. Los Angeles is in there. What's up, buddy? King Savage is in there. So many of you, and thank you for joining us for this 391 episode of Raiders Fan Radio. All right. Without further ado, I'm going to play a break, and then we're going to jump into the Sea of Fans mailbag. Oh, I got to bring up the breaks here. These solo shows, man.
Las Vegas, a city without a pro football team, in a world gone mad. What can we do about it? Acquire the most desired franchise in sports history? Sin City, lost wages, home of the Elvis weddings, and 24-hour debauchery. But finally, a match made in heaven. The Oakland Raiders have landed in the desert with the Death Star as their home. And to celebrate beyond your imagination has come 3 individuals hosting the most irreverent show while paying homage to the storied history of this franchise. Raiders Fan Radio with Murf, Swaggy J, and Michelle, taking a
lighter side journey into the dark side.
What's up, Raider Nation? It's your boy, Will Compton. You're listening to Raiders Fan Radio. Tune in because they fucking put out a banger podcast.
All right, let's see if I can find the. I can't find the damn Sea of Fans thing here. I don't know why I don't have this. All right, you guys sing it to yourself. Oh well, here's the Sea of Panda. No, I don't have it. I don't have the Sea of Fans over here. Oh, wait, here it is. Never mind. Sheesh.
There he is, baiting, looking. He's under the gun. He's tied, he's thrown. It is.
All right, we're going to jump into the Sea of Fans mailbag. This is where we hear from you, Raider Nation, because more of you and less of us is a good thing. And this is where we read your emails and hear your voicemails. And so you can call the show at any time at 909-345-3346. That's 909-345-3346. And if you leave a message 3 or more times, you could become the next made man or made maiden here at Raiders Fan Radio. Or you can email the show. And I won't do the joke because it's only not funny when there's just me here. But the joke or the what am I saying? The address. Yikes! I'll get it out. The address is show. That is SHOW at RaidersFanRadio.com. And if you email the show an indefinite amount of times, you can become a made man or made maiden that way. All right, so let's get in here. First up, we've got Carl Howard. Carl Howard, what's up, RFR? Haven't interacted in a while, but listen to the pod every week. And after hearing the question about is Raider Nation breaking, I wanted to weigh in. So this is the question that our buddy OG Todd asked on Twitter. He said, as a topic for the next show, he said, I asked the simple question, is Raider Nation breaking? I thought it was a phenomenal question, and Jeff and I got into it last week. If you missed our Halloween episode, check that out, and you can hear our answers. But this is what Carl Howard has to say. He says, in short, yes, I've been a proud member of the Raider Nation since I was young, 40-plus years, a tattoo, and an unknown amount of money spent on swag later. And I'm a fan on life support. You see, the first team I played for was a junior Pee-wee, was it Raiders? I'll get it. Pee-wee Junior Raiders team when I was 7 years old. I grew up with Howie Long as my hero. I've seen a Super Bowl win. I've seen stout teams. I've seen some legendary players and plays. But in recent memory, it's been missed or wasted picks. Free agency flops, overpaid names, lack of effort, and superstars traded away. Not even addressing the quarterback situation, but aside from Carr, we haven't had a decent, stable QB1 since Gannon. It's been a perpetual rebuild of something that's broken far beyond the roster. This isn't a can't win baby culture problem. I've never been as down on the Raiders as I am this season, not even in the Russell or Marinovich years. I agree. And that's because we had first-round quarterbacks that we had faith in, although it didn't work out, clearly. But at least it gave us something to root for, not these retraded guys we've been doing ever since, these Band-Aids. Isn't that wild? I mean, think about that. Derek Carr was the last high draft pick in quarterback we've had. That's it. Derek Carr. And who was it before that? It's Jamarcus, right? Who's it before that? Marinovich. Who's it before that? Kenny Stabler. Like, that's it. That's the history of our organization in terms of early round quarterbacks. Like, it's bananas. And look what happened when we drafted Derek Carr, by the way. 2 years later, we were in the playoffs. At some point, this continuous state of can't win, baby, this organization is stuck in, has to change, right? Right? I mean, there's always next year, right? I mean, at some point, this commitment to a top 5 draft pick mentality has got to fade away, right? So yes, this member of the Raider Nation is broken. My faith has been shook. My confidence in this organization has faded. My torch is about out. I still bleed silver and black. I still represent the Raider Nation proudly. But when it comes to the team, I'm kind of like, just win, damn it. I mean, just win, baby. Carl Howard. Thank you, Carl. All right, next up, let's see. We've got, hey guys, this is Jody. It's spelled Gordie, but it's pronounced Jotty, or he calls himself Raider Stew. I was listening to you guys last week, and Swag Jeff was talking about taking the Black 7 years ago, as they say in Game of Thrones. I myself came into this fandom in 2008. Oh, I see. Taking the Black 7 years ago, as they say in Game of Thrones. Okay, I get it. Yes, because Swag Jeff came to Raider Nation later on. So did this guy. He came in 2008 during the era of Jabba the Hutt Russell. As someone from the northeast of England, oh, shout out, your countrymen are in here. Martin and Paul are in there. That's cool. Someone from the northeast of England, when I first started following the NFL, I could have picked any team I wanted, but I was drawn to the Raiders because of the history of the team and fan culture, which reminded me of my football teams, soccer to the unenlightened, Newcastle United, Hearts FC, and my favorite beloved nation of Scotland. Things can never get better. Or, excuse me. Things can get better. This is why other people read the emails too, by the way, not me. Things can get better. I've seen Newcastle United go from regulation to winning our first major trophy since 1955. I've seen Hearts go from administration and nearly going out of business to currently top of the Scottish Premiership. I've seen my nation of Scotland go from not qualifying for a World Cup or European Championship for 20 years to playing back-to-back European Championships. I've seen my Miami Hurricanes go from irrelevant NCAA to the NCAA top 10. Man, tough loss this last week. Man, Carson Beck is just trouble. Yikes. You think we got quarterback problems? Man, Miami would be absolutely badass if it weren't for Carson Beck. And I'm with you too, by the way. I love the Miami Hurricanes. When I grew up, I wasn't a college football fan because Cal and Stanford is not a big thing in the Bay Area. But when I moved to the South Florida and I lived in the Keys for a while, everybody was Hurricane fans. And so I kind of took to the Hurricanes too. So I'm with you on the Hurricanes. But anyways, I digress. So my message to Raider Nation is just keep the faith. You never know what's just around the corner. Your loyal listener, let's see, make sure I get it right, Jotty Raider Stew. All right. Appreciate you, Raider Stew. All right, and last but not least, our brother Paul over there in Shropshire, Mississippi, or Shropshire, England, as it's more properly known as. Hi, everyone. Hope you're all well. Dazed and confused are still the overriding feelings with me this week after another weekend of confusion and strange decisions. Sunday wasn't horrendous, but it certainly wasn't good enough, and it still leaves too many questions to be answered. The overriding one being is why we can't get everyone to play well on the same day. On Sunday, the offense was largely competitive, but the defense decided to fall apart under more questionable coaching. If I had any hair, I'd pull it out by a handful every time I see a pass from an opposing quarterback find a receiver in 10 yards of space and we're in soft coverage set up as if yards after the catch means nothing to Patrick Graham. And don't get me started on the missed tackles again. 19 of them. Boy, Brother Paul, preach. Or how about the freaking third and long conversions? Brutal. It's like we can never not. Doesn't matter who coaches the team. Doesn't matter who plays defense. If there's a third and long, gosh darn it, we're going to give it up. I would say that Chip Kelly and Geno Smith had more promising weekend, but in all honesty, it hadn't been for Brock Bowers, it would have been another train wreck. 100%. We lose that game by 20 if Brock Bowers isn't on the field. Like all those Geno numbers, 100% padded by freaking Brock Bowers going bananas. A guy on Twitter, not a Raiders fan, I would have to add, said the Brock Bowers kid would be a great replacement for Travis Kelce. I put my head in my hands and tried to convince myself that it can never happen. What a wasted of an extraordinary performance from Brock. As I said before, on the face of things, Geno wasn't bad, and I thought he was going to get away without the need for criticism for a week at least. But when we needed a cool, experienced head to win the game, at the end, he blew the positives he'd shown by ignoring 3 open receivers and acting like a day one amateur. Here's the other thing too, Paul. Like, doesn't it feel like with these vets on the field that are making these mistakes, it makes it even that much more intolerable? Like if that were a rookie quarterback, if that were a guy we drafted in the first round who we're watching develop and he makes that decision, you'd be like, damn it. No, he's got to be better than that, right? Freaking Geno's 35 years old. Like he's not supposed to make these kind of mistakes. Like I'm not saying that like mistakes are acceptable because you always want to strive for perfection with the hopes you achieve greatness. But man, to see a guy that's been that in the league that long make that double clutch. And then the worst is in the press conference when the guy asks him about the double clutch, and he goes, "That's football, brother." That's football? No, it's not. No, Gino. No, it's not. Why was John Spite? Oh, wait. Okay, here we go. So as we had to Moron Mountain, So as we, even as quiet as Reggie McKenzie was, he still came out and did a press conference during the year. We need to have the proper power structure, Raiders. We need to have the proper power structure, Raiders. GM is the GM. GM is the GM. The head coach coaches the team. No more of these Bill Parcells. If you want me to cook the dinner, I want to shop for the groceries. No. You need you need a Howie Roseman, and then you need a Nick Sirianni. Someone to acquire the talent, someone to coach said talent. You tell me what talent you need, what it needs to look like, and I'll go get you the players. That's what it needs to look like. We need Spy Tech to grow a pair, exert himself, take the reins, and run the show. As I suspect, Pete Carroll, Spytek should have said something during the bye week to address the garbage that's going on, but it looks like he was told to sit down and shut up. I may be wrong, but the longer he stays silent, what else are we supposed to think? Right? Exactly. Because it's like without any information, then we're left to speculate. And if Carroll is still here in the build of the draft, we sure as hell need Spytek to be more assertive then. As I type this, the trade deadline has expired and Jacoby Myers is left for Jacksonville. I wish him well. It's a shame that both parties were too far apart on the numbers. We're going to miss him, but I guess Pete could bring in some more over the hill Seahawks instead. And finally, a statement from me that I thought I would never entertain, but at this point, I'd have John Gruden back as head coach tomorrow. And you know my feelings about that guy. Stay safe, RFR family. Love you, Raider Nation. His Lordship, the Royal Scribe, Paul Edgerton, Shropshire, Mississippi, Pauly Award winner 2019 and 22, Foggy Glasses Award winner 2020, Made Man of the Year 2024, RFR Maverick Award winner 2025, BRT Sizzler Scorekeeper, Proud Made Man, and five-time times 5 winner of the Raiders Fan Radio BRT Sizzler Award. Attaboy, Paul.
Paul, your name Paul? Hello? Paul.
I met him with Paul.
Who?
Paul.
Paul, yes, Paul.
Paul's not here. Hey, Paul. Paul.
Hi.
I'm Paul.
Darn right you are, Paul. We appreciate you and all the other emailers tonight. I appreciate you all so very, very much. One thing I do love about, because I'm not good at reading the emails, and one thing I do like about reading the emails on these selfie shows, though, is that I feel like I can have a conversation with you guys. Because that's one of the things I hate about doing the selfies. I hate just being the guy talking. Because I love this show when it's conversational. That's when it's at its best. And so it's kind of cool that I can just interact with your emails there. That's fun. All right. So appreciate you, Paul, brother Paul. And let's see. So now we've got the, what do we got? What do you call them? Oh, yeah. We got the voicemails to get to. So first up, let's get to our buddy Donovan. Donovan, the flag carrier for positivity. Man, let's see what Donovan's thinking after this.
What's going on, man? It's Donovan, man. So, somewhat of a media post-game reaction, man. Disappointed, man. That one hurts, man. I know, Raider Nation saying, yo, yeah, I'm mad we lost, but they feel good about something. This is, man, like, come on, man. Like, Brock Bowers is back, all right? You know what I'm saying? Best tight end in the league. Ashton Jesse, he's averaging like almost 100 all-purpose yards a game as a rookie. You know what I'm saying? But it's just, come on, man. And it's not even just this one game. It's like, yo, we supposed to be, I don't know, woulda, coulda, shoulda. We supposed to be, 3-5 going into Denver? We should have had that Bears game. We supposed to be 4-5 right now.
Come on.
Going into the, into Thursday night game against the Broncos with a chance to go 5-5 and be in the playoff hunt, man. And the thing about this season, man, it's just no consistent, man. It's so frustrating, man, because it's like we not, you know what I'm saying? We ain't got all cards on the table. We not going all in, man. Where's Jack Becks? Where is Dante Thornton, man? Why are we using Ashton Jitty? He should be averaging 100 rushing yards, man. It's like we can't keep. It's sad, man. We just can't keep putting the game into Geno's hands, man. He should have ran that ball in on the 3-yard line, Pete Carroll. You should already know about that. You know, you already made that. Look, man, where are the rookies at, man? Where is Darian Porter at, man? The big cornerback that's physical and that's fast, man. Where's Pegues from Ole Miss, the rookie, man? We need all hands on deck, man. You see what Max Crosby, he's shouting out Raider Nation, man. I feel for him, man.
That was cool.
You know what we going through. It's so frustrating, man. I am tired of the moral victory. I'm tired of the rebuilding. The talent is here, man. You see all these other rookies and these young players in the league making plays, man. What's our excuse? Oh, we rebuilding. It's a moral victory. We feel good. No, man, we have to win, bro. Man, come on, man. Come on, man. The talent is here, man. Hey, Gino, I don't know what's going on, man, but Derek Carr only one phone call away, man. And look, Mike McDaniel, Pete Carey, better get your act together because Mike McDaniel, hey, you put Mike McDaniel with Brock Bowers, Ashton Jitty, Trey Tucker, Dante Thornton, and Jack Becks, and Jacoby Myers if they don't get traded, man. Hey, look, man. We 2-6. Might as well play the young dudes, man. Who knows? We might be able to play up front week 14, week 15. How you make that happen? Just win, baby.
There we go. Brother Donovan, I couldn't agree more with you, man. I could not agree more, man. The youth movement is long overdue at this point. And I would even submit this, like, it's coaching malpractice at this point if you don't. Like, I don't, it doesn't make any sense anywhere. You know, you're not coaching for your job. You're not like, what do you, it just doesn't make any sense. I just don't understand it. The only thing I can think of is that Pete's got his guys and Pete's going to do for his guys above the team. And that's just, I can say it again. It ain't show friends. It's show business. And clearly, like I defended early on the Brennan Carroll thing because Joe Philbin's existence with the Raiders and you know, his ability to coach the offensive line. And I was like, listen, Brandon Carroll's not on an island. Like he's got a lot of people around him and a lot of support and whatever. This isn't all on him. But to have no criticism ever of your own, and I'm not saying you got to throw people under the bus. That's not good leadership. I'm not talking about pointing the finger and throwing people under the bus. But you can identify areas of opportunity. I live in a corporate world, man. I know all about corporate speak. There is a way you can frame a message to say it without saying it. There's a way to call it a challenge and not a problem. You feel me? Like there's a way you can craft a message to where, again, I use it right there. It's not a problem. It's an area of opportunity, right? Here's something we're going to focus on. We're going to put this area in scope because we want to improve. Right? We want to give it a tailwind. Whatever. Like, I'm not saying that. You're not going to be that stupid, but like, pick whatever corporate buzzword you want. But anyways, but my point is, though, there's a way to message it without apologizing for it. And he just apologizes for everybody. So now I look at it and I'm like, well, okay, all that nepotism stuff, which I kind of defended early on because I'm like, well, the NFL's loaded with nepotism. It's not necessarily inherently a bad thing. But when your guy is not doing well, and you just continue to enable him and it doesn't get any better, well, then now it is a nepotism play because you're not doing it because you got positive results. You're doing it because of who that guy is and what that relationship is behind the scenes. That has nothing to do with winning football games. And so I got a problem with that, man. And then he has the same treatment with the players, with Kappa and Meredith and Gino. Those are the three most glaring, I would say. But, man, anyways. Good stuff there from Donovan. More importantly, thank you, Donovan, for the call. Man, when you lose Donovan, you know you done fucked up. I'm just going to say that, man. And so, yeah, I'm with you, Donovan. Let's get the youth movement going and maybe give us something as fans to root for. All right, next up, let's go to our buddy down in Alabama. He is Josh in the 703.
What up, fam? I'm going to keep this short. I just had surgery a couple of days ago. Still kind of out of it. I just want to say Brock Bowers is still the best tight end in the league. And because I know everyone hates the Chiefs most, but it's those damn fucking donkeys. So, man, fuck the Broncos.
Of course. Well, first and foremost, wish the best for you in your recovery from surgery. Prayers, brother, for that. That's always tough coming back from going under the knife. And so hope everything is good in your world there with that. And I'm with you. So let's talk about this on the way out. I'm going to read the chat room, and I want to know what you guys have to say. I hear you loud and clear on the Chiefs. And when you ask, like, especially the old school guys, like my uncle, like Uncle Mark, Uncle Mosh, it's the Chiefs. Now, he also hates the Steelers because for those fans that were, active and up and running in the 70s, no one, knocked the Raiders out of contention more than the Pittsburgh Steelers. So when you ask Uncle Mosh, who's 60, what is he? He was born in, he was born in 58. So what does that make him? Coming up on 67? Or is 60? Yeah, because his birthday's in December. So anyways, it's coming up on 67 years old. He hates the Pittsburgh Steelers maybe more than anything. Like beyond our division even, because our division wasn't kicking us out of AFC championships. It was the Pittsburgh Steelers were doing that. So he hates the Pittsburgh Steelers. But that said, as far as division rivals go, it's the Chiefs. And that goes back to Ben Davidson and versus Lenny Dawson. And, that's Darryl LaMonica. And that's like, you know what I mean? That's like that old school Oakland Raiders, Kansas City Chiefs rivalry, the rivalry between Al Davis and the Hunts, that's just nasty, that rivalry. And so when you ask those older fans, then you get to my generation, as much as I hate the Chiefs, and I hate them a lot, especially the current version of the Chiefs, all this Tay-Tay shit and all that stuff is just, it's just, I don't know, vomit-inducing when you look at this Chiefs team. And then you look at the way that they get penalties and all that. Oh, my gosh, I got into it with Josh DeBow on Twitter this week. Him trying to justify that the Chiefs get penalized just as much as any other team in the postseason and in critical moments. And I'm like, bullshit. Like, all you got to do is watch the freaking games, and you can see the calls that go against the other team or the lack of calls thereof against the Chiefs, and it tells you everything that you need to know that they absolutely get favored. And I'm not saying that superstars don't get superstar treatment. It happened with Joe Montana, and it happened with Tom Brady, and it's happening with Patrick Mahomes. Like, I get it. There's a such thing as superstar treatment. Jordan got it. Kobe got it. LeBron gets it. Like, it happens in the league. It's not like a foreign thing. But I'm talking about the entirety of a football team is getting these favorable calls. And every, Josh and other Chiefs fans and shit, they kept throwing out all these numbers. And they're like, oh, just because you don't like the data doesn't mean that it's not real. And just because it doesn't make you feel good doesn't mean that it's not real. And that's not what my opposition to it is. My opposition to it is you can't produce data because no one tracks that shit. Yeah, sure, you can put up a stat and says like, oh, the Chiefs are penalized X amount of times in the fourth quarter on third down, or X amount of times in overtime with the game on the line. Sure, you can put out a stat that says that. What you can't put out a stat is that say the Bengals, the Bills, the freaking Raiders, in our case, when we played them last year, we were penalized or they had penalty. All you got to do is watch one Raiders-Chiefs game and count the amount of holding calls not called on Max Crosby. And the defense rests. Like, that's it. That's all you got to know. So, like, man, I don't know how I got on this subject. But anyways, so I got into that with DeBow on Twitter, and it's the damn truth. Oh, I know, because we're going back to rivalry. So, as much as I hate the current incarnation of the Kansas City Chiefs, I agree with Josh. The Broncos is mine. Because when I was up and coming, when I really not was like a little kid, but like when I was a teenager, it was John Elway. I hate John Elway. I don't hate anybody in life except for like 3 people maybe. But I don't have hate in my heart for anybody or for anything. except for maybe those 3 people. But anyways, and one of those people is John Elway. I can't stand John Elway. I can't stand his face. I can't stand his teeth. I can't stand the way that he used to beat the shit out of the Raiders, mostly the Los Angeles Raiders back then. It's like, it absolutely, like, just the sight of that man infuriates me. And that sight, everybody like goes all bananas about their, when they do their old Orange Crush uniforms and they're like, oh, this is one of the best throwbacks there is. I'm like, ugh. That thing looks like dog shit. I hate that stupid baby blue. I hate that orange. I hate the freaking horse. I hate the freaking chick that rides the horse into the stadium. I hate the freaking everything about him. I can't stand the Denver Broncos. And it all goes back to that. It all goes back to like those early days. And it was John Elway. It was like the big nemesis. And when he won those back-to-back Super Bowls, like I used to love to talk shit about Elway because he sucked in Super Bowls. Like he was over for a long time. Like he was the Fran Tarkington. And man, then he got those back-to-back ones. And it was like the whole, this one's for John. I can't stand it, man. Anyways, so yeah, screw the Broncos, man. I'm with you. I put out a picture on Twitter for those of you that follow me on the Twitters there. Check it out. My cousin Sonny, his dad was my Uncle Bruz. That's Uncle Mosh's older brother. He's my mom's oldest younger brother. My mom's the first of 4. So my Uncle Bruz was a huge, he's back here. I got a picture of him back here with my dad. My Uncle Bruz was a huge, Raider influence on me. Old school Raider fan, going to the freaking, the Oakland Coliseum in the 70s. Like him and my dad on my dad and my uncle on my dad's side were best friends. And so those 2 guys formed my absolute Raider fandom and a lot of other things. They were my heroes. But anyways, I put out a picture of my Uncle Bruz and he's just freaking throwing up a bird outside of Mile High Stadium out there in Denver. This is like circa 1982, 83, maybe something like that. He's wearing a cowboy hat and some overalls, and he's just standing out there just flipping off Mile High Stadium. And I'm like, it's like that's where all that stuff comes. We hate the Broncos. I hate the damn Broncos. But anyways, so I want to check out what the chat has to say. I want to hear from you guys. Let's see. Chef B says, I just hate all of it. Web know the truth. We know the truth. Says, F the donkeys. Paul says, John Elway can eat an apple through a tennis racket. Yeah, absolutely. Cousin Sonny always says that he could eat corn on the cob from around the corner. Let's see. Crabtree and Talib was a classic. Absolutely. Did you hear Talib? He was on a podcast the other day, and he was talking about that, about Raider fans. He's like, Raider fans still come at me in the airport or whatever. They're still coming at me because of that. He's like, man, I snatched that dude's chain like 10 years ago. He's like, and you guys still haven't gotten over it. He's like, that Raider fans are the worst. The Broncos are the better rivalry, says Aaron Thompson. Raider Man says, I hate the Chiefs with a passion, living in KC. Oh, that's different. That's got some extra mustard on for you on that. Corey Flex says, the damn donkeys are going to whoop us. Yeah, I got a feeling they are too, and that's going to really, really hurt. That was nice, at least the past couple of years. It was like, well, at least we still had their number, right? At least we could still beat the freaking donkeys. But nah, not now. Let's see. Let's see if anybody else has got that. Chiefs and the Niners, my top 2. So Bay Area Raider fans for sure. Like, we hate the damn Niners. My brother's a Niner fan. The family gene mutated, and don't ask me what happened. But anyways, he's a Niner fan. And yes, and that one runs deep because there was so much coverage for the Niners. They had the easiest schedule. Like, there was all these things. It was like the Bay Area just freaking, absolutely whatever, all over themselves over the Niners, and the Raiders were just like the redheaded stepchild, man. It was brutal. So I absolutely hate the Niners too, a lot. I hate them most in the NFC. I hate all those other AFC teams first. I hate our division. I hate the Steelers, right? Like those teams. But then it goes, like, when I go to the NFC, it's the Niners and then the Cowboys. I can't stand the Cowboys. I hate the Dallas Cowboys, like, so much. I hate the Panthers because they stole their colors after us. They stole their silver, and I know they're blue, but look at how much silver and black they use. I hate that. I hate it when the Falcons did it, when the Falcons first started their black uniforms. Like, they were the first team to, like, really bite off of what our style was. I hated that. But anyways, so Yeah, so let's see. Charger fans are the most annoying, honestly. All they do is talk trash on Twitter. That's the Slayer here. I agree with you, too. Charger fans are very annoying. They are. They're the most annoying out of all of them. The Chiefs fans are always just like, I mean, they're riding on the high of the mountaintop. And so it's like, when you're the king of the NFL, like you can trash talk, pretty effectively. And especially now that they've gotten more Super Bowls than we do, like they can effectively talk some smack. Broncos got some arguing points against us because they owned us for a very long time. And then now that's starting to, then we got them, then we started getting them, and then now it's turning around again. But man, Charger fans, you literally have nothing. Like arguing with a Chargers fan is like the easiest arguments to win because they can't take us on anything. Like there's nothing, like nothing. They like history. Like they always want to go, oh, you guys are leaning on Super Bowls that happened 40, 50 years ago. Yeah. Doesn't mean they didn't happen. They didn't stop calling stop calling it the Lombardi Trophy because the first 2 Super Bowls were won by Green Bay and Vince Lombardi. They didn't stop that. They'll still count. You know what I'm saying? Like, just because it happened before your fucking iPhone and your thumbs doesn't mean that it didn't happen. So, yes, we do lean on those 3 championships while you're leaning on nothing. You lean on air and you're 3 fucking fans. So, shut up, Charger fan. I'm with you, dude. Charger fans are annoying as hell. Raider Man says, wait, there is Charger fans? But anyways, we appreciate you very, very much, Raider Nation. Appreciate everybody that's in the chat. All right, I got to give a Sizzler Award to the best emailer or phone caller of the night. And we had some very, very good ones, but I want to shout this guy out because I love his positivity each and every week. And even though he's down bad, as we all are, he ended his call on a positive note, calling for the youth movement. I thought it was awesome, and congratulations to our buddy Donovan. You are this week's Sizzler Award.
I am the Sizzler.
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 Sizzler. Sizzler.
We are Metallica, and we are here for your Oakland Raiders!
You know why we out here, and we ain't playing around today.
From The Walking Dead to errant Jedi Knights, Raiders fans are a rogues gallery.
Oh, hee-haw, bomber. What are you doing, big boy? Look at the camera over there so they can see you. He was like, no, man, I'm taking a nap. He's tired. He had a big walk today. Anyways, appreciate you, Raider Nation. Appreciate everybody that checked in on the chat room tonight. Let me shout you guys out one more time, man, because I really appreciate you being in here for this podcast selfie. Appreciate Chef B is in there. Hooligan, of course, is in there. Paul Edgerton is in there. Aaron Thompson, Raider Man, Raider Brian, the Slayer here, Backwoods Raider. Let's see. We Know the Truth is in there. Corey Fleck is in there. Ron the Mater Raider, of course. We appreciate you very, very much. Raider Man, if I didn't say that yet. I appreciate you guys. Love you guys. Man, let's go Raiders. I know we all want the youth movement, which we better see. We all want a first-round quarterback. They better draft one. Or at least, trade even back into the first round. You want to get your defensive guy, the first pick, and trade back in. That'd be nice. Look at what the freaking Giants did this year. Abdul Carter, trade back in, get Jackson Dart. Change your team. Pow, just like that. And then get Scattaboo later. Shout out Scattaboo. Hope he gets healthy. But anyways, point being, things can change fast. And they can do it. Despite all that, still got to beat the Donkeys. I'll never root for the Raiders to lose, especially when we're playing a division rival, especially when we're playing the damn Denver Broncos. So let's go out there and kick the Broncos in the ass. Thank you guys again. We will see you next week back on the normal time, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the thumbs up. If you're on the audio podcast, rate, review, hit 5 stars. Make it good. Please. All that stuff helps because the better this show does, the more advertising we get from the good folks at FanDuel, good folks at HTO, the more that we can give money to the One Nation Foundation. So thank you to everybody. Love you guys. Good night. Good night, YouTube. Bomber. What are you doing, big boy? Yeah. Hey, pal. Come say hi. Come here. Let the people see your big face. Come here. Doris. Oh, you big sweet boy. That's a big sweet boy.